As part of the BBC Radio Lancashire, you're more behind the scenes and get the information out there. Can you explain more into that for me?
Can do. Well, this is basically my base for a match day. So whenever, like any of our reporters, we have a team of 7-8 reporters, they go out to the grounds, but they can't broadcast if there's nobody here to basically link them up. So I have a studio desk which looks technical, but it's not. It's actually very easy to use, and it gives me access to link to whichever reporter, or whether we have an interview or anything. I can link to the outside world just by simply opening a fader. Whatever fader is open goes out live on air.
You've been here since '93. What has changed since then behind the scenes?
Oh, it's been massive. When I started, I had what was called a reel-to-reel machine. I actually had a bank of 5 of them. So it was, you'd have like the old tapes running in the background. If you had a goal, you would stop the tape, play the goal out on air. The difference is now we have all these computers. So you can literally see there's a computer screen. It looks complicated, but it actually makes the job so much easier. Because if we're recording, we follow 7 teams. We have like commentaries, updates on 7 teams. All the recordings go into the computer. So it just makes it speeds everything up. That's probably one of the biggest differences. I think when you kind of learn on reel-to-reel tapes, you probably learn a bit of the, I don't know, there's a different structure to learning to radio. Maybe computers become a little bit, kind of relaxed, thinking, oh, it's the computer will do this, computer will do that, computer says no, that sort of thing. But the difference is that, like I say, it's so much faster, it's cleaner, you can do multitasks on it where you couldn't do on the old system. And obviously by linking to the computers, it brings up kind of more modern, like social media, where you can link to people commenting with you. 10 years ago we couldn't do that. There was no such thing. So the whole, let's say, package is so much easier for me, because if I'm literally listening to 7 games at once, and you have to, if you didn't have the technology of computers and the whole network, you just couldn't do that.
So technically it's become a lot more advanced. Has it made your job easier in any way, or is it harder learning all the technical things behind it?
I would think it's made it a lot easier, because it's almost like with the new systems, with computers, if you make a mistake these days on something you do, we all make mistakes, you can easily erase that and start again. If you're using old systems, you made a mistake, say like you were on the old reel-to-reel tape and you had to edit a word out, even the letter A, you might drop that little bit of tape on the floor, you'll never find that again. On here, if you need to edit something out of the screen, as you can see there, and you think that doesn't work, it doesn't sound right, you can then erase it and start again. So there's more fallback on modern technology. Makes my job easier because you have to be on top of everything that's going on at the round. You can't make really bad mistakes, but again you have a little bit of fallback, safety net, let's say.
So we've talked about social media and stuff. I assume it's made it a lot more easier to interact with people. Do you do that on a regular basis?
We do, and I know some organisations don't interact with listeners. I think you should, because the listeners otherwise think that they make a comment about you, it might be good, it might be bad, you ignore it, they just think it's like a computer generated system, they're getting ignored. That's not a good way to interact with your listener, because if they're asking you a question, they want a response from you. It might not be necessarily the response they get, or they might get an answer that actually thinks, oh yeah, I understand why they've done that. It's like if we do, say with 7 teams, we might do 3 commentaries at once. People are going to question, why do you put, say, Preston on that frequency, why Blackpool on that? If you answer them, they think, oh, I can understand why you've done that, the difficulties of it. So yeah, the interaction is massive these days, because again, it's like in real life, wherever you are, you get ignored. If somebody asks you a question, you ignore them, it makes you kind of blood boil a little bit. So by responding to them, they see that we're just here to entertain the listener, let's say.